friends, I'm Akash, and you're watching the news of the week for the week of June 26th to July 2nd, 2022. I'm Akash Rakoti, and there are some amazing stories for you this week. First up, the 2022 G7 summit takes place in Germany. Then, 53 illegal immigrants die in a San Antonio truck. Next, President Biden announces 18 new recipients for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. India bans certain single-use plastic products, and an update on COVID-19 with the Omicron-centered COVID-19 booster dose. So those are all the topics we'll be covering in today's News of the Week. So we'll begin with the leaders of the G7, group of 7 economically developed countries congregated in southern Germany from June 26th to 28th for the 48th G7 summit. G7 is the group of 7 developed nations: Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US. Now, Germany's new Chancellor Olaf Scholz hosted today's G7 summit, which included US President Joe Biden and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, among others. And the leaders of 6 other countries were also invited, including India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who talked virtually. The impact of the Russian invasion of Ukraine on the world was a very major point of discussion during the summit, and measures to counter the food crisis and financial issues brought by the war were very important topics. And as well as this, we're seeing climate change affect the world at greater volumes that we had previously thought. And so G7 this year is hoping to try and rectify that. And they said in their final summary that all of these changes made this year will be helping to make an equitable world. So next, let's talk about a tragic story. Illegal immigration in the southern border of Texas has gone so far that it has taken the toll of 53 lives in a San Antonio trailer truck that didn't have air conditioning in 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures. This is the deadliest migrant smuggling incident in the United States history. Most of these passengers were from Mexico, Guatemala, and other Central American countries, and were apparently being smuggled into the United States when the trailer was abandoned, with no AC, practically no food, and in scorching temperatures. 53 of the unlawful migrants died, with 12 of those being injured heavily. Now, the driver, alongside 3 others, were all taken into custody and questioned, where the driver revealed that he apparently had no idea that the AC didn't work. And so he just continued on without realizing what had happened. Now, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador expressed his condolences and said that the Mexican government could assist with U.S. operations. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and the U.S. Senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, both said that President Biden's policies regarding the southern border was what led to this incident, whereas President Biden himself stated that this event was horrifying and heartbreaking, and that it underscores the need to go after the multi-billion-dollar criminal smuggling industry. So that's what happened in San Antonio, with the deaths of 53 unlawful migrants on their way from Mexico and other Central American countries over to the United States. Next, let's take a look at another very interesting story this time. On July 1st, 2022, President Joe Biden announced the 18 new recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the United States' highest honor for basically making a difference to the United States and therefore to the world at large. The recipients include Steve Jobs, John McCain, Simone Biles, Denzel Washington, and others. Out of all, my favorite recipient is Steve Jobs. And I'll be honest, we definitely should have honored Steve Jobs a long time ago. But it's great that he is being honored now for his achievements in changing the world. to what it is today. And John McCain was a decorated Vietnam War veteran and a longtime Arizona senator. John McCain was the 2008 presidential candidate from the Republican Party. Denzel Washington is a two-time Academy Award-winning actor, and Simone Biles is the most decorated American gymnast in history. Now, speaking of decorated athletes, and I know I'm going a bit on a tangent here, but I am still wondering why Michael Phelps, who is my personal favorite athlete, has not been given this honor yet. I mean, he is the most decorated Olympian in history. And I hope that this administration or a future one will honor Michael Phelps with the Presidential Medal of Freedom that I personally believe he deserves. Alright, so now let's move on to another uplifting story. Now, we have news that India has officially banned 19 single-use plastic products on July 1st as part of an initiative to switch from plastic to more environmentally friendly material. Now, as 1/7 of the world's population is now under these new restrictions, India's decision to ban these single-use plastics will have a very, very positive outcome for the planet. And this decision that the government of India has made is going to be helping to stop pollution. And this is actually a really good decision because single-use plastics, as per the name, well, they're only used once and then they're thrown away. And for many, many other items that the government of India has not yet gone to, there are still important restrictions in place to make sure that they are all recycled appropriately according to the regulations. So now let's take a look at our final story of the week. It's an update on COVID-19. Cases slowly rise back up, with 740,000 cases per day worldwide, 113,000 of those being from the United States. Meanwhile, deaths keep lowering, with the worldwide tally at just 1,500 deaths per day and 400 in the United States. As another wave appears to be on the horizon, the FDA and CDC are working to try and curb its rise. The FDA recommended new vaccine booster doses to protect from the Omicron variant at much higher rates than previously seen. So Pfizer and BioNTech collectively announced a vaccine that adapted to Omicron with much, much higher immune response compared to Pfizer's previous vaccines. So the FDA is currently reviewing Pfizer's emergency use authorization application for this new vaccine, and if it's successful, then Pfizer plans to release it in fall of this year. And that is absolutely wonderful. Now, as well as this, the company Novavax has also been working on a similar one that will hopefully be available soon. But until then, this is what we have. The FDA now recommended these new vaccines when they come up to make sure and include protection against Omicron. Hopefully, that is going to help and curb what appears to be another wave on the rise. And that is all of your news of the week for the week of June 26th to July 2nd, 2022. Thanks so much for watching. Love you, Akash.